This is Ryan Elliott from Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Like, we're joined by Chantelle Cameron via Zoom. Chantelle, been a while. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Now, look, obviously, let's get straight into it. Massive fight for boxing at the weekend. Yeah. So, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, undisputed lightweight title. A fight that had huge expectations and somehow managed to surpass them. Just your initial thoughts on the fight, watching that at home. Wow.
Literally, wow. It was incredible. Like, what a fight. Not even just for women's boxing, just for boxing. It was absolutely unbelievable. And the atmosphere, I just think, I wish I was there because it looked completely mind-blowing.
It did. It looked insane. And the fight itself, I mean, just to go back to it, Katie had a good opening couple of rounds. She seemed to show that speed advantage early doors. And then 5 rounds in, badly hurt by Amanda Serrano. I think you actually picked Serrano by late stoppage before the fight.
I did, yeah.
Round, were you thinking this is done?
I did, and I thought, how is Katie standing? But to be fair, it just shows you like how tough Katie is, because she looked completely done, didn't she? Like her legs. I was like, how she come back? And then to be fair, the next round she come back and she was ready again. Her feet were back, her speed was back. She was like, oh God, it was unbelievable. And I just thought, what is she made of to come back after that? Because I thought, Serrano's got her now. Amanda's got her because she's really hurt. If she sticks on her again, like, you can't withstand that kind of punishment. But Katie did. And like you said, the fight lived beyond expectation. It just blew everyone out the water.
There was a lot of criticism of the DAZN commentary, the US commentary perhaps being a bit more in favor of Amanda Serrano. A lot of people over here had Katie Taylor winning the fight. How did you kind of see the fight when the final bell went?
It was close. Like, you can't argue it was a close fight. I think, yeah, Katie won. I think the commentary was very biased. Throughout the rounds, I was thinking, yeah, this ain't normal. Like, usually it's very, sometimes it's like very more in favour of Katie. And I was thinking, oh, the commentary's a bit biased there. But the right woman won. I don't think you could argue with who won. I think it was, such a close fight. But, Katie won. Katie won fair and square. You could, just the output, it's everything. But if it went Amanda's way, I don't think you could argue it either.
Yeah, when you mentioned it there, when she had been hurt and, she came and had a quiet kind of 6th round, she still looked a bit dazed when she came out for the 6th round, but managed to clear her head. And were you surprised that she managed to find that level of composure to just box away and start picking up rounds after seemingly looking done?
Yeah, completely. I thought, like, how she come back after this? Like I said, she did take the round off, but she had to take that round off. And I think if she come there and tried fighting fire with Amanda, I think Amanda would have got her out of there. But at the same time, I think Amanda didn't put her foot on the gas either when she seen that she was gone. But I think that's because Katie is just so fast in her footwork. She's quite hard to pin down. But yeah, like, she had to have that round off to get her bearings again and kind of like take that recovery instead of taking the risk of getting stopped.
There's been a lot of debate after the fight as to whether, this is the perfect time for Katie Taylor to walk away at the highest it could really possibly get. A phenomenal fight and of course coming out on the winning side. But then there's also the people say the rematch is even bigger now. As a boxing fan, from your perspective, if nothing else, would you like to see it again?
I'd love to see that fight again. Yeah, I think it was such a good fight. It was entertaining, had you on the edge of the seat. And like, but for both women as well, like, what a credit to women's boxing. They've really like up the game, haven't they? Like, completely like put the bar up there now so high. I would love to see the rematch, but like, what has Katie got to prove? In fairness, I think she's been around, she's done it all. She's the legend. She's made the history. Like, what does she have to prove? She's not proving it to anyone now. She's claimed that GOAT status, so I can see why, like, she retired. I think it would also be good, but again, you do want to see the rematch because it was such a good fight.
Chantelle, a fight between you and Katie Taylor is something you've been asked about, all the time for a long time now. But, I've known you for a while and you've always been kind of pretty sure that it wouldn't happen for one reason or another whenever I've spoken to you about it. Do you kind of feel like that is to bed now, that it may be Serrano for her and then that might be it?
yeah, without a doubt, like I said, like I've had backlash before where people have been like, "Oh, Chantel's chasing Katie. Chantelle just wants that cash fight, blah blah blah." But people don't understand. It's like them saying that and shouting and screaming that. They don't understand that since I turned professional, that's all I ever heard is Chantelle versus Katie, me fighting Katie, blah blah. Like I've always made it clear I would love that fight. Who wouldn't want that fight? Literally everybody wants that fight against Katie. She's got all the belts. She's the legend. She's basically queen of boxing. So why would you be a boxer and not want to fight the very best? Like it doesn't make sense. But yeah, the fight will happen. Like Eddie Hearn, my last press conference said, Chantelle will face the winner of Katie and Serrano. But a lot of things are said and it never happened. So to me, it was just in one ear and out the other. I'm not yeah, like clearly I would love that fight, but I'm not gonna like hold my breath and think it's gonna happen because the likelihood is it's never gonna happen. So I'm just carrying on with my career and just getting on with my path.
Let's talk about your path then. You are back in action very soon. Victoria Bustos, someone who's been the distance with Katie Taylor, been the distance with Erica Farias as well. What do you make of her as a fighter? How much have you seen of her?
Very good fighter. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. To be fair, I don't really care who I'm fighting. I'm just looking forward to being back. It feels like it's been so long and long breaks don't do me any good. Like 5-6 months out of the rings, what are you doing with your life? I could really like be doing other stuff instead of just waiting around for a fight. So it's been a little bit frustrating. I'd rather be a lot more busier, but obviously now I've got a fight date, so it's a lot better. But I'm just excited to be back in the ring and facing a former champion as well. So it's not like I'm just getting in facing anyone off the street. It's going to be a tough challenge and a tough fight, and that's what I want to. That's what I want to have. So I'm looking forward to it.
We've seen yourself, show that spiteful power at times, but Victoria Bustos is someone who has only ever, she's never been stopped, very experienced, has gone the rounds of these top fighters. Are you expecting this to be a distance fight?
Like I never look for the stoppage because I think if I go looking for the stoppage, then I'm going to like mess up my own game plan. But for me, it's like I'm very frustrated with boxing at the minute. I've not been in the ring for a while, and like I think I just can't wait to punch someone's head in. Like that's literally it. Like I was saying, like literally that's it. It's just like I feel like I had that fight in October, went completely under the radar. Like to be fair, it was pretty shit. Like I was on a massive high, and then it all come tumbling down. And then like it's May now, and it's the only time I'm back in the ring where everyone's been boxing, everyone's been active, and I've just been sitting watching everyone like in the ring and their profiles, like being out there doing stuff and that. And I've just kind of just been in the background, just thinking, what the hell is happening with my fight? Because obviously I was meant to be fighting for undisputed. So for me, it's just like I'm just frustrated, and I just can't wait to get in the ring and put all my frustration to bed and make someone pay for it.
That's what I was going to come on to, because we'd spoken a bit about the fact that the Kaylee Reis fight that was meant to happen, an undisputed fight, was kind of delayed. You told me you'd been told it was delayed. You've had this fight in the interim. What's the latest with that? Have you had any assurances that that will be next if you win?
Absolutely zero, nothing. So I was actually saying to my mum today, and like she was asking about it, and I said, what's the point even thinking about it? Because I've got Victoria Bustos in front of me, and I say in every interview and any fight I have, I never look ahead of I never look beyond my opponent. So like I'm not going to be looking at calories now. Like in my head now, that's I put that to bed. It's not happening. For me, it's Victoria Bustos, because if I start looking beyond that, then I'm going to get beat, and I'm not going to have them belts to be putting on the line anyway. So for me, it's just strictly Victoria Bustos, and hopefully the fight with Kelly Reis happens. But again, I've heard absolutely nothing, and the more and more I think about it, the more and more I get a bit frustrated about it and a bit annoyed, because obviously I did sign up for a tournament where it was meant to be semi-final, final, and obviously things do happen, and it is shit, yeah. But I just kind of got this. If it happens, then again wait around, and like Katie Taylor fight. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. And can't do nothing about it really. Just gotta just wait and be hopeful.
Last one on the Reis situation, because I don't think I've seen it clarified anywhere. Were you given a reason as to why that didn't happen?
No reason, no. A medical problem, but no reason, which is like obviously a bit frustrating as well because it's undisputed. It's not like it was just a title defense. It was my dream and her dream. Like, I'm not saying it's my dream, just my dream. It's her dream too. It's a massive fight, and I've always been saying like I want to be undisputed. I want big fights, and then won my semi-final, grabbed the IBF belt and the Ring Magazine belt, and then everything just went tits up really. And now like not even got an explanation, which is annoying. I don't have a date for, obviously I don't really want a date now anyway because I've got a fight May 21st, but I don't have no idea like if that tournament is actually still happening. Like, does anyone know? I don't think anyone knows. I don't know if the tournament's over now. I don't know if it's still gonna happen. Like, God, I don't know. Yeah, it's one of them.
Well, hopefully we can find out soon. I'm sure it's been a frustrating week for you. One thing I was going to ask you about another fight that could be out there for you. You know, I've seen you do 130 in your career, 135, 140. Would you go 147 for the McCaskill fight?
I did. I actually got offered McCaskill for this, but just weren't like, it was me to go to America and this and that, and it didn't make sense. And I think she's vacating her belts as well, whereas I kind of wanted to fight for her belts because I want to be undisputed. So didn't see like why I should put my belts on the line, and those are being vacated when I could have moved up and boxed for all the belts, and there's undisputed for you, and then come back down again. But that weren't happening, so I was like, no.
Okay, Chantelle, I think that's just about it. Thank you for hopping on bank holiday. I'm sure we'll speak to you on fight week in a couple weeks' time.
Cheers, Ryan.